Welcome back to the pod. Today we have another special guest, Sheree Hahn. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Welcome.
Get more excited there, Callum. Thanks.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome, Sheree.
So Sheree is a property manager based in our Richmond office. Talk to us. I mean, you've been at Summit for just over 10 years.
Yes.
Longer
All
than
right.
us.
Give us a little bit of a history of how Sheree Hahn has been involved in Summit, yeah, and
In
how
general.
you've in your journey to being a property manager.
Okay, well, I started in the Stoke office as a receptionist
Right.
and then moved to the Nelson office as a receptionist admin
Yep.
for mortgage money. And then from there, moved to a property manager.
Right. So how long you been in property management for?
About 4 years.
Cool.
Well, the whole time I've been in property management, but
Yeah.
as a property manager,
As a property
4 years.
manager as such.
Yep.
Yep.
So, look, as a property manager, you're based in the Richmond office. How many properties do you look after as a property manager in our office?
About 100 at the moment.
You're looking after 100 yourself?
Yes.
Wow. And how many does the Richmond office have?
Probably about maybe 500, if not. Yeah, 500.
About 500?
We've all got about 100 each.
Wow.
It's a huge job. It dwarfs our,
We don't do anything.
We're managing 20. Well, we're managing 25 to 50 listings.
Yeah.
These guys are permanently every week managing.
So
100.
how many properties does Summit Property Management manage in total?
It was over 2,500, I think.
Wow, 2,500.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Give or
It's a
take.
big business.
Quite a
isn't it?
few.
It's a big business.
Big business.
So, being a property manager, all right, give us a little overview of what that involves. What do you do day to day? I know you do different things every day, but say a week for a property manager. What do you do on a Monday?
Answer all the emails from the weekend.
Yeah,
Phone calls, because we actually turn our phone off on the weekend.
right.
Yeah.
So you guys don't work over the weekend. How good's that?
We get to turn our phone
But
off.
there's like an emergency person or something.
So now, we used to have an emergency phone, but now we've got the emergency call centre. So
Okay.
they call them, and then a plumber will be sent if it's an
Oh,
emergency.
yeah, if it's an emergency, someone can
Right.
get their plumbing fixed or
Yep.
get their light
Power
back on.
or anything.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, cool.
So that's Monday.
great. So that Monday you're answering emails, sorting out if there was any issues over the weekend,
Yep.
doing all that jazz.
Yep. Viewings,
Yep.
uh,
For properties that are
updating people.
for rent,
Yep.
basically.
Yep. Booking them in. So we like to, when we've listed a property, we like to have the viewing times available for people to book into,
Okay, so they
so
can
they know
self-book.
exactly when they can come. So if we do like 2 viewings a week, they know what times they can
Yep.
make it work.
So they do that by ringing, or do they do that online?
Online.
All right,
Yep.
so they can go to the Summit website, I take it?
Yep, or
And-
Trade Me Now, and we've got a
Okay.
independent company called Renty who organise all of our viewings. So we
Okay.
put everything on there, and they can join a wait list if there's no viewing times.
Oh, yeah, so they
And
can
then- yep.
register for that property, basically.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That's good.
Maybe we should do that,
It's quite handy.
isn't it?
Tuesday? What are you doing?
Tuesday,
on
we've got caravan and a meeting on Tuesday morning.
What's caravan?
Well, I used to think it was travelling out in a caravan somewhere, but it's going around the real estate properties in our area
Yep.
for sale.
So the ones that we list,
Yep.
you as property managers come and look at them, and you give us a rental appraisal, don't you,
Yes.
to those? So
In case you get an investor buyer.
yeah, if we get an investor buyer, they have that information straight away, and then we can refer that buyer to you,
Exactly.
right? So we can increase your properties that you manage.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
What helps for us?
It
Having
helps
those,
us.
those figures
Yeah, it does.
available for
And
investors.
sometimes people need those figures for lending
Yeah,
as well from a
from the
property
bank.
manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. So there's Tuesday.
Wednesday, inspection day.
Oh, that'd be a fun day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so 8 inspections I had on Wednesday.
Yep.
And had 1 cancelled for sickness.
Yep.
So we have to kind of make that up another day
Yep.
when they're better.
Yep.
And then still some viewings depending on what else is happening and how many properties we've got available each to what day. We try to avoid doing other appointments on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
but not always
'Cause that's-
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes things happen, right?
Yeah.
But Wednesday's inspection day. So do you write them up Thursday or do you write them up Wednesday?
Ideally, it's supposed to be Wednesday, but if you've got so much going on, it can be
Yep.
Thursday.
So when you do an inspection, what happens? What do you do?
So we go to the property. We check that the tenants have the property reasonably clean and tidy.
Yep.
And then we also check all water points. So we're checking under the sink, hot water cylinder, all those places where any leaks could be possible.
Yeah, any water
and take
damage.
some photos to send back to the landlord.
Okay, so they can see that everything's okay or
Yep.
needs some attention.
And if the tap's dripping, we report that kind of maintenance. If the gutters need a clean all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And how often does a property have an inspection?
Every 3 months,
Oh, yeah.
which you will find you need that for your insurance company anyway.
Yeah, so it's good. You're really looking after the tenant, making sure if they have any issues, they can bring them up. Looking after the property itself,
Yeah.
and making sure that that relationship between the people renting and the people providing the property is healthy
Yeah.
and everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, so we're essentially the middleman for them,
Yeah.
but to keep both parties happy
Yeah.
and the house in good condition.
And it's interesting what you said about insurance. So there's criteria, isn't there, that if the property is tenanted, that to keep their insurance up to date or to have their insurance in play, that the properties have to be regularly Inspected.
Yeah.
Now, when I say regularly, I don't know the exact date. Is it every
3 months.
Most insurance companies are every 3 months,
Okay.
but some have a different term. Some are only 6 months, but
Yep.
most are 3 months.
Most
So
are
we
3 months.
need that because if you have a hot water cylinder leak,
Yep.
it can be classed as gradual damage if you don't pick it up straight away.
Yep.
And the insurance company will ask for the last 5 inspection reports, which is
Oh,
over
wow.
a year.
Wow.
I would imagine that there's probably people out there that are renting their homes privately
Yeah.
that don't have, or they might have renters insurance, but they probably don't do inspections.
Yeah.
Or they might do it
And you
once
need
year.
a written report.
And so you may as well not have insurance because you're not doing the
So
process. that
they may not know
activate
that
it.
they're actually not covered. So, say for example, worst case scenario here, we have a fire in the house burns down. They go to the insurance company. They say, right, give us your last 5 inspections.
That was my last experience, was 5, yeah.
Yep, last 5
Not a house burning
inspections.
down.
No, just a hot water cylinder
Well, I
leak.
mean, I'm being serious here.
Okay.
All right, 5 inspections.
Yeah.
And they don't have them. So they go, sorry, you're not insured. And they lose everything.
No, probably not, because also, so that's for the house.
Yes.
And then the tenant has to have contents insurance for their own stuff as well.
Yeah. So the tenant would be covered with their contents.
Yes.
But the owner would lose the house because they wouldn't be insured. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that an insurance company, because they tend to try and find ways,
Yeah, to get out of things
not to insure
sometimes.
things.
Yeah.
So you're
It's okay, you can say it. It's okay.
you're protecting the vendor, or the owner
And the tenant, yeah.
and the tenant in that regard. If you can pick up something that maybe the tenant hasn't, that would possibly be an insurance claim that would be voided if it wasn't picked up. So that's good.
That is awesome.
They're not always going in their hot water cylinder. You know, sometimes
No.
it's a cupboard that you don't go in very often
Yeah.
until
We
you
don't
need
notice
something.
it.
And so we check that stuff. We, feel the floor or whatnot.
I mean, in your own house, you might have linen in your hot water cylinder if it's in a cupboard. Some of them are in the roof.
You probably just grab it and then carry on.
You don't even look at the cylinder. You go get what you want, so you don't look at it. So that's great. So that's Wednesday. You do inspections, write them up. Wednesday, Thursday.
Send them
Yep.
off.
What,
Yep.
what's actually involved in writing it up? I mean, you said you took photos, but
Yep.
so how in depth is the write up for a report? Is it quite in depth?
Depends how much maintenance is needed, but if everything's good, it can be quite short.
Yeah.
But it's still a room by room
Description.
comment. You write something about every room.
Main bedroom's all good.
Yeah, like presented really well,
Yeah.
or clean and tidy in the bathroom, tap stripping,
Yeah.
some staining on the
Whatever.
sink from the tap,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it can be quite in depth. And if there's a lot of maintenance, like the gutters, the lichen on the roof, all that kind of stuff, we put that on there.
Yeah.
And we suggest that we can get our contractor in to do the jobs,
Yes.
Yeah.
so they don't have to use their
Great.
time to do it.
So you as the Summit Property Management Group have a list of preferred suppliers
Yep.
who can basically do all the plumbing, electrical, house
And
maintenance.
you're bulk buying, so you can sometimes get
get a
it.
better rate.
So we
rate.
do get better rates from all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them have their own people, their own friends, or they are good at those things, so they like to do it themselves.
Yep.
But after an inspection, we always call the owner and let them know how it went.
So how often do you speak to an owner?
Depends, can be quite often. Can be
Yeah.
some owners prefer like a catch up often,
Monthly? Yeah,
yeah,
or-
and then other people just prefer to kind of
Yeah.
not hear from you.
Yeah. Or they want to get their 3 monthly report.
See you in
Yeah.
5 years.
But you kind of don't want to be one where they look at your phone ringing, it's you, they dread the phone call.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to be that.
So you need to call them when just to say hello, and
Yeah.
sometimes as well.
You've got to create the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a
Relationship
partnership
game.
at the end of the day. So a bit of Thursdays where it's possibly writing some up in the morning maybe. Then what do we do for the rest of Thursday?
So more viewings. There's always viewings.
There's viewings,
And
yeah.
phone calls, emails are always there. So
Yeah.
people constantly need you. If we get new properties, we need to book them in.
Appraisals?
Yeah.
Appraisals?
I
Yeah.
was going to say, how do you?
Yeah. So we have to slot them in whatever
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
So we kind of
Okay.
work. No day's the same.
So Thursday, Fridays, you're basically just catching up on everything, make sure everything's in place,
Tidy for the end of the week. Yeah.
doing appraisals, doing viewings, doing all those things.
Yeah.
How do you get new properties? Like, say you want the house next door is up for rent. Do you chase people that are got their houses who are
With other
advertising?
companies.
Or not necessarily other companies, but just
Private?
privately? Yeah.
Private we can do from Trade Me.
Yep.
We kind of have someone in the office that will police Trade Me.
Yep.
So that's kind of their domain, but we get a lot of word of mouth. So if I've given you a good job, you're going to tell your friends to
Yeah.
come to us.
So it's similar to us.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, and then we get
Repeat
people
and
contact the
referral.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And we'll refer business to you as well, the
Yeah.
agents.
How many properties do you think you could manage comfortably? So you've got 100 at the moment. Is that enough, or can you get another 50?
110.
110? Mm-hmm. So you're pretty full.
But keeping in mind that people are always selling,
Yep.
moving
So you
back
get
into
that
their rental, so there's
natural-
always change.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
natural
Yeah.
turnover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And Fridays?
Same thing, mate. She's
Same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, those 2 days the same. Yeah, cool. So now going into I guess 2 questions. One is, why should someone use a property manager? We've already covered off a few things, but why should someone use a property manager rather than just
Do it
doing
themselves.
it themselves?
Yeah, overview. We've talked about a few things, but
Yeah.
just go through it again just so
We can save you a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can manage your biggest asset and then point out things that we may see that you wouldn't normally see.
Yep.
And you'd be more efficient at managing because
Yeah.
you do it every day,
Yeah.
right? Whereas, I guess, if a private landlord has an issue to solve, it might take them many, many more hours to solve the problem because they've never been in that position before.
And there's always things you haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
So like we always talk about, we've always got a question a week,
Yeah.
of something that none of us have come across before.
And I guess there's nothing worse than a homeowner having a conflict with their tenant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, that issue is removed when you have a fully
Person in
qualified
the
and
middle.
experienced property manager looking after it for you. If
Yeah.
there's a problem with the tenant, it gets done by the book and there's no conflict.
No, and we've got proof, like we have emails or we make notes of phone calls and all that kind of stuff. You've
Yeah.
got to have that backlog
Yep.
of
So that's
what's
another
happened.
positive thing of having a property manager.
Yeah.
And you're qualified and trained, and you can keep people protected, I suppose. You can protect the so that the tenant knows their rights,
Yeah.
and the vendors know their rights, and you can educate them on that.
Yeah.
So you avoid those conflicts. I think that's really important as well.
Yeah.
And we keep up with changes in the law.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep up with it. So everyone's compliant.
Yeah.
Both landlord from, all the healthy homes
Yeah.
situations.
So healthy
point of
homes
view.
is a big one.
Yeah, healthy homes is huge, isn't it? I mean, how much that changes yearly by the sound of it.
Yeah. So at this stage, it's been the same, but next year's the year they have to be compliant.
Okay.
Right.
But that got changed
It
last time.
doesn't matter whether they've been in the property or not
No.
for many years.
No.
Yeah.
It's going to be bang. Yeah.
2025. Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is what people might not realise, especially your investor, and it's that time factor and it's the opportunity cost of doing everything yourself, because you might be earning you might be on a good wicket, earning good money, and you've got a few investment properties. Every hour that you spend on managing your investment property is an hour of whatever your hourly rate is you're not using to make money.
Yeah.
So I think that that's probably a big thing that people need to realise, is that the more time and energy you put into managing the property, which is not your skill base,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you could muck it up, you could be
You will, mate.
putting somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth putting whatever the percentage is of money and it's small in the grand scheme of things, into a professional, and then never having to think about it. And if you're someone that literally doesn't mind and trusts you to just do everything, you don't even need to think about your asset, and it's just growing, and you've got good tenants in there. And going over to Summit Property Management now, and why is Summit Property Management the go-to? Why are we the number one choice? Because we are. You guys are. You're
the biggest
two,
team, aren't we?
2,500. It's miles ahead.
And we
of
got
anyone else.
more properties than anyone else,
Why?
which is great.
Why would someone choose us?
Because we work together as a team, and then also when we come along for an appraisal, when you meet us, you get us for the whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's
You're
a big
not dealing
thing.
with a
You're not
salesperson
yeah,
and then getting passed off to someone you've never met.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you meet the person face to face who's going to be looking after you, one of your bigger assets.
yeah.
Obviously, if it's an investment property.
I think
And you've got competitive rates, you know.
We like to have good communication,
Yeah.
and if you have any questions, just come to us. A big one is communication.
Yeah. I think it's a common theme that we have from the summit as a general is that we're a big family-orientated company. And, a lot of people have worked at the company for a long time because it's a great place to work, right?
Yeah,
We all have a bit of fun, but we get the job done and we do it well for our owners and our vendors and our sellers and our purchasers. So from your point of view, being a property manager, yeah, what are the things you love about your job?
no day's the same.
Yeah.
Can have real stressful days and then real good days.
Yeah.
But it does really help that we've got such a good team that even if we have bad days, we just have a chat about it and you can move on from it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, we see it firsthand and hear it, funny enough.
Well, not quite.
What we would say is that Callum and I's office is next to the property management office.
yeah.
Lucky
You
guys.
hear a lot of laughs.
We hear a lot of laughs. We hear a lot of, it's like little hen house down the end of the office. Yeah, a lot of chat. But good team. They work really hard and have to put a lot of hours in to get results and keep their owners happy. So you guys do an awesome job. So you're not getting away this easy just yet. The next question is, what is something that you dislike about your job as a property manager?
Well, what's the challenges? What's a big challenge?
What's the challenge? What's the thing you dislike the most? It's a dislike, mate.
If anything goes wrong, it's our fault first. So like the
Right.
tenant will complain to you first and the owner will complain to you first.
Yep.
And then you've got to work out how to sort out the issue.
Yeah.
So we're kind of problem solving all the time.
yeah. So that's the thing you probably dislike the most, having to problem solve that stuff.
There's a bit of emotion involved as well, I suppose.
Yeah, some
You've got a
people-
tenant, I've got a leak.
Isn't
Yeah.
that conflicty, sort of aggressive?
Yeah,
Nature.
yeah. And I guess some people you don't know what's going on in their personal lives and then this final thing has topped it off. So we
Yeah. you've
kind
gotta-
of cop it, I suppose.
Yeah, but that's
But-
human nature, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
You as a property manager got to stay pretty level-headed in that situation and
Keep
Yes.
calm
Yeah.
get the result.
and that's why you're there, to be fair, because if you got, say, a tenant's going through some stuff, you got
Owner going
an
through
owner go
stuff.
through some stuff, then there's a problem. There's going to be a big problem. Whereas
Yeah.
you can sort of go and just calmly move through it, and you've been through it many, many times. So you can problem solve a lot quicker than anyone else.
Absolutely. So I guess the people that are out there listening and watching the pod, look, if they're thinking, we hear all the time, if they're thinking of selling or thinking of renting,
Yeah.
right, at Summit we can give you both options.
Yeah, we've done many appraisals before where we bring a property manager along
Yep.
and they can have both sides of the coin. Should I sell or should I rent it out?
Yep.
And tell them the reasons why. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
you
they
can,
sell it.
You can put, and you can put your foot forward as to why they should read
Yeah.
it, and you do your assessment and you give them all the information. We do the sales part. You know, we're the one-stop shop Summit, right?
Yeah.
So people out there listening, watching, you know, if they want to rent, ring Sheree, right?
Yeah.
Easy to find. Just go to the Summit website, look up Sheree. She'll be able to look after you from the rental. If you want to sell, obviously you ring Team Today.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, you ring us both. Or you can just ring one of us and we can talk to each other because we are in the office next door.
Yep.
We are the one-stop shop. Property managers, best in town, Sheree Hahn. Sales, obviously Team Delaney. Let's do it. Thanks for coming along, Sheree.
No problem.
Sheree.
Thanks.